is this the Teteroa McMillan week? Is this the week that he finally has the huge game and that he goes nuclear? And I don't know why, like on the panic meter shows, there's been people asking about him, and I've been so surprised when that's happened because he's been good. Like I know he hasn't. Well, go ahead. Well, what is it, Harmon?
I know why, because me, you, a lot of fantasy analysts, I think, have been saying for like 3 weeks now, this is the Teteroa McMillan week. I know I said it when the Falcons game was coming up, which obviously that didn't go that way. Dolphins game didn't happen. Now we're saying it again here. I would bet that is why, Boone, because people keep saying it's going to happen, and then it's another kind of 60-yard-ish performance, which not the worst thing in the world, but we're talking about this is the week, and then it doesn't happen. So now you're here to say, though, this is actually the week.
Well, my logic on it, I think the reason that people are talking that way is just because he hasn't found the end zone yet. Because if he gets a touchdown in one of those games, that's the bigger week that people are looking for. Because, he's been good. He's averaging 5 catches for 70 yards and almost 9 targets per game. And that's his first 5 NFL games. Like, those are fantastic numbers. You get those kind of numbers from a receiver as a rookie. That's great. And it's only going to get better as we go here. And the touchdowns will come. When you're getting that kind of volume, the touchdowns are going to show up. There's no doubt about it. And this week against the Cowboys, yes, this is the time. It is going to happen. Much to the chagrin of producer Colin. He does not want to hear this, but Dallas allowing the most fantasy points to receivers this year. They're just hemorrhaging yards and touchdowns through the air. I mean, you could look at some of the number 1 receivers that have gone against them this year. Garrett Wilson, 71 and a touchdown. Romeo Doubs, the one we mentioned earlier, 58 and 3 TDs. Rome Odunze, 62 and a touchdown. Malik Neighbors, 167 and 2 touchdowns. And that one was an overtime game, but still, we could take a bit away from him there and he still would have had a big game. So McMillan, I do think this is the game where he is going to go over 100 yards. He is going to score a touchdown. It is all going to start to come together, and fantasy managers will finally be satisfied, Harmon, because he will get in the end zone.
This is a little bit small sample stuff, so I'm not 100% sure if I buy into this, but I do kind of think so far the film backs this up as well. Teteroa McMillan against man coverage right now, 4.32 yards per route run. Against zone coverage, 1.41. Now, nobody on the Panthers has been good against zone coverage because I think Bryce Young has made a lot of mistakes throwing into zone coverage, so it's not necessarily just a McMillan thing. But this is one of the most zone-heavy teams in the NFL. It's a big part of the reason why Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields took forever to get going in this game, because Justin Fields is not he's great against man coverage, not so good against zone coverage. So just a minor matchup thing to note, that if this is not this is the week, doesn't turn out to be this is the week, that might be one of the reasons why. But I am with you that Teteroa McMillan is once again in a good spot here. I think, it's easy to blame Bryce, but I think he's put a couple balls on the ground. He's a rookie receiver. He's still figuring things out. He's not been Emeka Egbuka, who's just hit the ground running. Thank God we talked about him literally every podcast, Boone. I'm glad that aged well. But McMillan is still figuring things out a little bit, especially some of the intricacies against zone coverage. So it could be the week any week. And I do think if you're looking at previous matchups, that does make sense. But I just kind of wanted to throw that little devil's advocate out about the zone coverage, man coverage splits right now.
Yeah, a couple other things I want to mention with the Panthers here, too. If he doesn't find the end zone, one reason might be because Rico Dowdle steals all the touchdowns from him, because Rico Dowdle coming off that 200-yard game. Chuba Hubbard not practicing yet this week. Looks like he's probably going to miss this game. And Dowdle with the revenge game. Another one of these revenge games, Harmon, with the revenge game against the Cowboys, which is a great matchup for him here. I mean, we've just seen, Breece Hall hit him up for 158 scrimmage yards. Josh Jacobs, 157 and 2 touchdowns. They're allowing the 6th most fantasy points. Like, this is a great matchup for him. And then the other thing that I want to mention here, too, Jalen Coker, there's a chance that Jalen Coker could play in this game. They've opened up his 21-day window. He's practiced in full the first 2 days this week. I don't know if they're going to rush him back right away, but if he gets back out there, that could also potentially open things up.
What is this from? What is this from?
McMillan. This is fantastic.
I mean, if
But
you're not
Jalen
watching this on
Coker,
YouTube right now, I can't even possibly explain to this. But
yeah,
please, producers, let me know if this is a creation that you guys have done, because this is fantastic. It's the meme of Bugs Bunny where he says, "Lord forgive me, but it's time to go back to the old me," and it's Jalen Coker and a Panthers jersey. Yeah, shout out to producer Jason Jung. I can't. This is the best surprise I've gotten in years. Is this seeing this live? I guess he made this, so shout out to Jung on that one. But yeah, again, if you're not watching it on YouTube, it's worth go check it out. Yahoo Fantasy YouTube channel to check this one out. But sorry, Boone, please continue.
I mean, I don't need to make the case about Jalen Coker to you. I could talk about him to everyone else, but we've mentioned him here for a few weeks as somebody that you could stash, you could throw in your IR spot. And now the time is kind of running out to grab him, because he is going to get back on the field soon. If it's not this week, then I would imagine it's the week after. And once he's back out there, I think there's a chance that he becomes that number 2 option in the passing game here. That you look back at his numbers last year, like, you take away the first game because he only played 10% of the snaps. After that, you take his numbers from the rest of the games he played, you put him on pace for a full 17-game season, which isn't always predictive, but yet it still tells us something about the guy. And he was on pace for over 800 yards in 2024 if you take out that first game where he barely played. So this is a player with a lot of talent. I know you like him. This is a team that needs that second option. Not only do I think he could potentially become a fantasy starter in that kind of wide receiver 3 flex range, but I think he could help this whole team. Maybe gets Bryce going, maybe helps take some attention away from McMillan. It's a much needed piece that they just haven't had because he's been hurt this year.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about a team that struggled throwing against zone coverage, having a power slot receiver like a Jalen Coker would be critical there. I mean, Hunter Renfrow just hasn't gotten it done so far this year. 0.51 yards per out run against zone coverage for Hunter Renfrow, the primary slot receiver on this team. Not great. Second most routes on the team against zone coverage. Obviously, Xavier Legette hasn't gotten it done. McMillan is a rookie, still figuring it out. So, yeah, the reason it won't be the week for Teteroa McMillan is he's about to get his job taken as the number 1 receiver by Jalen Coker. I'm kidding. I already allowed myself to get needlessly excited yesterday on the show for Coker's return. So I don't think we need to do any more of that. But, yeah, I'm really interested to see what he can bring to this team, of course, because he is a young receiver that I like.